What is property all about? Math. So this is the thing. Is property about the colour of the curtains? No, it's about math.
In a business deal, when you buy a business, are you going to be actively involved over the running of the business? Yes or no? Yeah, you're going to be actively involved in some way. With the real estate deal, the mindset difference, are you going to be actively involved once it's bought? No, you buy it and let it go.
So what's your investment time frame? My investment time frame is my great-grandkids. Would my great-grandkids, in fact, if your great-great-great-grandmother bought you 50 properties on the Sydney Harbour, in the worst spot at the time, she borrowed 100% of the purchase price. They were negatively geared for the first 10 years. Would you love her today extremely more than you did anyway?
What is the one fundamental factor in property investment that we know? They're not making any more land. That's the fundamental that drives property investment.
If you're willing to work and invest for 10 years, from there on out, how much work will you have to do for the rest of time? Hello? Pretty much none.
How many of you know for a fact that you can replace your annual salary with one property deal a year? How many of you know that for a fact? Okay, so the rest of you obviously don't then. Either that or your arm's tired. If your arm's tired, I'll give you $1 million cheque that you need to countersign. Would you raise your arm, you know? Let's just say your time was worth only 50 bucks an hour though. That's all it was worth. Why would you ever clean your own car, wash your own clothes, clean your own house, do any of the above? Why would you waste your time on something you can pay 10, 12 bucks an hour to someone else? When you could be doing that same 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 hours a week that you do cleaning, looking at properties. Buying a few deals.
How many properties did you go and inspect last week? See, what if you went and inspected more than that zero number? Might you learn some things? What if you went and inspected 10 properties a week? What might happen in life? You might end up buying one. And you might even find a good deal.
Like when you look at properties, the first 100 properties you look at, will that be the toughest 100 ever, yes or no? Yeah. Going and seeing first 100 properties will be your toughest 100. Why? Because along the way, you've got to learn all about property. You've got to see this, you've got to learn that, you've got to see, okay, what's that stand for? How does that work? You know, where does that come from?
You have to flush the toilets. You've got to check out the houses. Once you've flushed 100 toilets in 100 houses, then you've done your apprenticeship. You know, you can tick them off. Keep a sheet in your car, flushed another one.
Who needs to be on your team? You need accountants, you need lawyers, you need quantity surveyors, you need valuers, you need. This is your business team. When you look at it from that perspective, how many of them do you have to have on staff? One, the handyman. See, we employ a team of handymen, basically, and they're all carpenters and everything, but that's now. When I first started, who did the handyman work? Get real as if I'd do that. These hands don't work. Trust me on that, okay? These hands are for polishing jewellery. That's about the hardest work they do.
The number one reason people fail in real estate is they overcommit and cannot hold the property. They don't have the cash flow to manage their asset base. And this is where they end up dying very, very, very public deaths. It's quite funny. If you are too lazy to gain the knowledge you need to succeed at something, then what's the point of complaining about it? People say to me all the time, oh, you know, I don't know about investing in property. That's right. Then they say, what should I invest, Brad? Where should I buy a house, Brad? I said, well, wherever you think. But I don't know. Well, good. Go and invest in the knowledge so that you don't have to ask such a dumb question. I always say it's a very simple way to go and get knowledge. Buy it. Because what's the other point? What's more expensive? How much does it cost you to not know how to invest? How much does not knowing all the business stuff that I can teach you cost you over your lifetime? You know, what does it cost you to not know it? It's called the opportunity cost.
Rich people spend money to save time. Poor people spend time to save money. You might like to write that down and put it up in big writing on your refrigerator or something at home.
When is the best time to buy property? In a boom. When's the next best time? Now. Is it always going to be in a boom? No, it's not. The market's going to have flat times, down times and boom times. When do the down times come? Straight after the boom times. Because what happens in boom is emotion gets carried away, you go a little bit too high and it'll come back.
So if you keep waiting, thinking, okay, I'm going to wait until the next property boom's here, because you can pick it, can't you? You know? I had a friend of mine who's a stock market trainer, he says, man who tried to pick bottom ends up with sore butt. You know? And it's a simple point that if you think you can pick when the stock market or when the property market is going to boom and bust, and when you think it's going to go up and down, you are wrong. What is fear? It's a belief that you can't handle it. Here's a question for you. Have you handled every challenge that's come up to you in your life so far? Have there been some easy challenges and some really tough ones? You've handled all of them. How do you know you've handled all of them? Still here. So whenever another challenge comes up, what are you going to do? I'll handle it.